almost published. But what is the rule now that's going to get sent by Spotify or by WhatsApp? They sent out a thing. Because Aaron doesn't want. Did you just send it to me so that I have?
He's got crazy. He was talking just about the morning share.
Oh, okay.
He got way too.
Fine, whatever. Most people said Spotify, which is fine, but
I left off.
Just should he post the daily share that I give at 2 in the morning? Should he also just post the?
It's good if it's posted on Spotify. That's fine.
I was in Spotify.
Published.
He should send it out on.
No,
it's always
there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's start one second. I just want to write one last thing.
Clear, but,
I'll try to be clear.
So I have to ask him how. I think what'll cost one on the hinges. But,
Okay. Okay. It's been a interesting few days, no? The kids home?
Yeah.
I'm trying to prepare. The kids are off now between camp and school. This is of the hardest 2 weeks of the year between school and camp and school. So trying to prepare in between play dates and going out and ice cream and pizza and all those good things. So hopefully a little bit clear. Okay, we're on Sicha Samech Zayin 67. 67, yeah, we're moving. Oh, Gewalt.
I can't see my glasses.
Gewalt. No? This is amazing. Not only
No.
Samech Zayin.
Yeah, but I'm saying the page. Oh yeah.
Not only is this Sicha going to be connected to the Zman, which was double. We're going to connect this Sicha both, I don't want to tell you yet, it's going to be a surprise, both to this week and this current Zman. But 67 is a huge number right now. Mamish right now. Mamish right now. 67. Come on.
67. War.
What's Gematria Elul?
Oh.
67. 67 is Gematria Elul. It's Rosh Chodesh Elul. We're doing Sicha 67. Yaakov, it's mamish amazing, no? I believe you talked to me. That's it. You're done. You can go now. You're done. Gematria Bina. Bina is also 67. It's also very important. Elul and Bina. To understand. To work through Elul, to work through Tshuva, you have to understand. So tonight we're going to come to a certain understanding. And we'll see how actually everything about tonight is about understanding. So Rabbi Nachman says, let's read through it once, as we always do. Let's read through it, or we try to always do. Let's read through it once. I think pretty straightforward, and we'll try to add a little bit. It says Rabbi Nachman, Misha eno shomeya umet vitzayis l'divrei chachamim amitiyim. Someone who doesn't listen and follow the words of the chachamim amitiyim, the true chachamim, hu yochol lishtageya. He is likely to become a meshugana.
Right.
A meshugana. Ki iker shigaon shakola meshugaim. The main reason of the craziness of the crazies, right? The major reason of the craziness of the crazies, hu rak machmas shehu einot sayis v'shomeya l'divrei habali seichel, is because they don't follow and listen to the words of those who have seichel, logic, brains. Ki amashuga im hayishomei v'tzayis l'divrei chacherim shem bali seichel, because if the meshuga, the crazy person, would listen to the other people who are bali seichel, bevadai lo hay meshuga klal, he wouldn't be a meshugan at all. Why? Ki afal pi shelafi ruach shtus v'shigaon shalo, that even though a ruach shtus, this wind of craziness, it's probably a better lashon, the spirit of folly, ruach shtus, even though the ruach shtus has entered into the person, v'shigaon shalo, and his craziness, nidme lo bebirur gomor, it is clear to this crazy person, shutzar leilech karua, he should walk with, I guess, tattered garments, ulis galgel ba'ashpan, to roll in a trash can. Right? He thinks this is what he's supposed to do because he's a crazy person. The keyotze bezeh, and something else, anything else like that, crazy person stuff. Midar keshtos v'shigaon, in the ways of craziness. So even though thinks that this is what he's supposed to do, afal pikein But if the person who's bigger than him, this Baal Seichel, this wise, logical person, this Chacham would tell him, you don't need to do that. That's crazy. That's not what a normal person does. If the crazy person would nullify his will, meaning he would listen to what this Chacham is saying, right? I think rolling in the garbage can is normal. This Chacham, who I know is a tzaddik, he's a big person, he says that's not normal. You know what? I'm going to listen to him. I have a choice. I listen to myself. I listen to him. We're not talking about a person, probably a person who's literally out of his mind and he can't hear anybody. We're speaking about a person who's doing crazy stuff, but he has somewhat of an ability to still think cognitively in some way. Otherwise, we can't deal with this person. So he says, you know what? I'm going to listen to the Chacham, and that's not normal. There happens to be, there's a Maisa that Rabbi Nachman talks about, the prince and the turkey prince. You know this Maisa? Mm-hmm. You know the Maisa? Everybody knows the Maisa. Just for those who don't know the Maisa, everybody here shook their head. There's a prince who goes under the table without his clothing on. He thinks he's a turkey. And no one could figure out how to get this person healed until the Chacham also went under the table and took all his clothing off and said, he's a turkey also. And then he says, you know what? I'm going to put my pants on because a turkey could put on pants. And they put a shirt on. A turkey could put on a shirt also. And then the prince put on the pants and put on a shirt until he healed him. Right? Each time the Chacham would say something, the prince would say, oh, okay, I guess a turkey could wear pants. Until he eventually got out of his...
Turkey could sit at the table.
That was the end of it?
Yeah, turkey could sit at the table. Me too.
Right? And he got up. So if this person is willing to be mevatel his das, to nullify his thinking to the thinking of the Chacham, bevadai haya mizbata kol hashigon shelo. Certainly, all of his craziness would be batul mevutal in a second if he would listen to the Chacham, right? So nimsa we find sheikar hashigon. Therefore, we find the main craziness who rak machmashu ein rotze lishmoa l'tzai is the Chachamim. The major craziness is because he's not listening to the Chachamim. Because if he'd listened to the Chachamim, the whole thing would be done. He'd get up and be sitting at the table again, not be a turkey prince under the table. V'havein hadavar hatev. And Havein, Pina, Elul, 67. Havein hadavar hatev. Know this well. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds pretty straightforward, for the most part. But we have to get into it a little bit deeper to try to really. Rabbi Nachman said we have to understand it well. So let's try to understand it a little bit better. So Rabbi Nachman starts off and he says, "Mishainu shomei u'mitzayis adivri chachamim amitim hu yochel shtagei." A person doesn't listen to the chachamim can become crazy. Shtagei. So if we translate like we've been doing, the word meshugana is a meshugana. He's a crazy person. Now the connotation of meshugana is usually one of detriment, bad. This guy's a meshugana. He's crazy. Get out of here, right? Not. Hey, he's a crazy guy. Oh, let's bring him closer to us. No, get away from me, you crazy person. However, that's not true. Because the word meshugana, meshuga, shoge, is used in positive ways as well. Two Marmakomos. The Rambam says, in Hilchos Tshuva, this man we're in, the Rambam said, he says, Kate said, he ahava ruya. What's the proper level of ahavas Hashem? And most people don't learn the sugi of ahavas Hashem. It's a mitzvah d'oraisa to love a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ahavas Hashem elokecha. It's a mitzvah d'oraisa. We say the psasik every day, multiple times a day. It's one of the biggest mitzvahs. Yet, not everybody knows how to perform this mitzvah, or what are the gedarim? What are we striving for? But if you learn the Rambam, he tells you in Hilchos Tshuva. The Rambam says very clear. How do you get to this ahava? What is this ahava? Hu sheyeh ahavas Hashem ahava gedol yisera azamod. That a person should come to love a Kadosh Baruch Hu with a strong love. Ad shetehei nafsho kishura ba'ahavas Hashem, until his nefesh is bound, is tied up with ahavas Hashem. He's infatuated with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. V'nimsa shoge ba'tamid. He's a meshugana. He's madly in love with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, like a meshugana, but not a bad meshugana. It's about ahavas Hashem here. V'nimsa shoge ba'tamid. Ki'ilu chola choli ahava, like he's lovesick. He's so in love, he's lovesick. That doesn't mean he's actually sick. It means it's more than the norm. There's a hava and there's a hava plus plus. He's hit a hava plus plus plus. Like a little puppy dog. He became so infatuated, obsessed, on cloud 9. That's not a normal level. To live at that level is impossible. Constantly. Right? But here, Ahavas Hashem, it's a good thing if you can get to that place, at least once in a while. Like he compares that a person becomes infatuated with a woman. Rambam writes. And he can't get her out of his mind. When he's lying down, when he gets up, when he's eating or drinking, he's always thinking about her. Again, infatuation. More than that, a person should come to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Constantly thinking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does for him, everything that he wants to do with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to serve him, to appreciate him. Open Rambam. Hilchos Tshuva Perek Yud Halacha Vav. We'll just finish up. Shogim Batamid. Again, like a Meshugana, like constantly, just obsessed. Kamosha Tzivanu B'chol Levavcha B'chol Nafshecha. Ahav that's Hashem Lekecha B'chol Levavcha B'chol Nafshecha. That's the key. That's how you mekayim this mitzvah deraisa. Okay, and he brings in Shir Shirim. Kichos Ahava. But I'm just pointing out that you have a concept of Meshugana in a good way. It's more than the norm. Now, it's true that you need to have kalim for that. But if a person there is a level where you can be too infatuated, right? If a person literally can't get this girl out of his mind, it could be too much. It could be too much. Everything could be too much, right? The word too much means too much, right? It's like very simple, but it was actually profound when I thought about it once. If something is too much, that's bad. It's too much. There's a level that you're supposed to get to. There's too much. So anything, too much bananas, too much protein, too much water. Water is good, but there's too much. There is a level that's too much. Was that ridiculous? Was that like a profound statement by you guys? By me, it was very profound when I chapped too much. Anything could be too much. Anyway, I'm not sure if you thought that. You probably just think I'm a Meshugana now. Okay.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Thank you. That was nice of you. I appreciate that. The Orach HaMakadosh, I'll bring another raya. This is in the yeshivas. They always call, I think it's in Pharaoh Parshas in. It's in Vayikra Yud Ches, which part is Kedoshim probably. Not sure. But in the yeshivas they speak about this because the Orach HaMakadosh says that a person can be meshuga with Ahavas HaTorah. Right? The Orach HaMakadosh says, Kihem Chayenu V'Archemenu, because the Torah is our life. V'lo hayamargish adu b'mesikas v'arevas tova Torah. That if it would be that a person could taste, feel the sweetness, the mesikas, the arevas of the Torah, if you're zocha to taste the sweetness of Torah, hayamishtageya, you'll become a meshugana, umislide achareya, you'll start running after like a crazy person, excited. V'lo yechshav be'enov, you will not care about gold and silver at all. You won't care about money. You won't care about anything Gashmis. If you taste the sweetness of Torah, which every day, by the way, we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to put the sweetness of Torah in our mouth. That's what we're asking for. Because if we would taste the sweetness of Torah for real, you really get into whether it's Gemara, Chassidus, Musar, Halach. If you would taste the sweetness, Chumash, Rashi, and people, I'm sure everybody here has tasted it at least a little bit in their life. You'd just run after it. You wouldn't care about anything else. Become totally obsessed with it. I'm a shugana. Because the Torah includes all good in this world. So the point is that Meshugana can be a good thing. Here in our Sikha, it's not. But the point is that Meshugana doesn't mean bad. It means acting out inappropriately. Doing something more than the norm. More than what's objectively held to be good, normal. Okay, right? That's what it means Meshugana. If you become a Meshugana, you become neurotic or addicted or compulsed to even do, some people have an Indian to say Shema many, many times. They heard the halacha, they had to say Shema in a certain way, and they say Shema, Shema, Shema. You ever hear that? I heard that before. again and again and again, or the people who wash their hands too many times, or by Pesach the cleaning. What?
My father usually gets that guy next to him.
Yeah, that's because that's your father's nisayon in this world. I guess he hasn't passed yet. How upon him. So even if it's within a mitzvah, if it's above the norm, you're meshugana, right? And you need help. Sorry, that was obvious, right? You need help. Okay. Now, in this first line of the Sicha, Nachman says, if one does not listen, does not heed the words of the Chachamim, he's likely to become crazy. So, we see here, because I want to point out two different ways that I think Rabbi Nachman in the same Sicha is discussing listening to the Chachamim. The cause of the craziness, you didn't listen to the Chachamim. Because you didn't listen to them, you became crazy. That's what it sounds like in this first line, right? In this week's Parsha, Parsha Shoftim, yes? Good, got that. Pasuk says, Al pi ha-Torah she'yorucha, it's talking about the Chachamim. We're talking about Beis Din, the Chachamim. Al pi ha-Torah she'yorucha ve'al mishpat she'yomer lecha, that you shall act in accordance with their Torah, the way they're teaching Torah, or their instruction, that they're yorucha, that they're teaching you. Yorucha is also Lashon Torah. Ve'al mishpat she'yomer lecha, and the laws that they're telling over to you. You have to listen to what they're saying. You should do. Lo saser min hadavar sheyagidu lecha yamin u'smal. There's the famous line. Do not turn away from what they're telling you to the right or to the left. They're telling you, stay straight, listen to what they're saying, follow what the Chachamim say. They know how to explain the Torah, Torah Shabbasav, Torah Shabbapeh. They know how to bring halacha down, maybe eitzes, advice. Listen to them. Rashi says, there's a well-known Rashi. Rashi says, why does it say don't move from their words, not right or to the left? Like, that's the way that we would speak. What is the Torah trying to teach us? Rashi says, Afilu omer lecha al yamin shu smo, v'al smo shu yamin. Even if the Chachamim would tell you that right is left and left is right, if they would tell you the complete opposite of what you believe, the kol shekain, and all the more so, omer lecha al yamin yamin v'al smo smo. They tell you right is right, left is left. You have to listen to them. One second. If they tell me the right is left and left is right, I have to listen to them. I don't know my right, I don't know my left. That's Meshuggah. That's Meshuggah, to listen to them. I should do the complete opposite of what I know is 100% emes? That's crazy. A long time ago, when we were doing the sugyas, I think it was, we did a sugya of tzaddikim, of listening to tzaddikim. We remember in the sugya section, between the Haran and Sichos Haran, we did sugyas. So we mentioned this pasuk. We mentioned, I don't remember which turn in the Haran, but we asked over there, how could it be? How could it make sense at all that we should go literally opposite of what we know? How's that emes? That's sheker. So at that point, we quoted a Dvar Torah that I try to say anytime I can. It's one of my favorite. I still, till today, don't know who says this Dvar Torah, and I'm still waiting. No one, in all the years I've been saying this over, no one has told me who this is. I'm still waiting. And it's not mine. It's not like one of those that I forgot. It's not mine. I don't know whose it is. It's not mine. If you walk to the Beis HaMikdash, and you're walking past the Mizbeach, you remember this one? Up the stairs, into the Heichal to the Kodesh Kodashim. So if you walk into the Heichal, you could imagine for a minute, looking at the Kodesh Kodashim, right in front of you basically is the Mizbeach HaKetoras, where they would do the incense. To your right would be the Shulchan upon them, where they did the Lechem upon them, the bread. And on your left, against the left wall, would be the Menorah. If you'd walk past that, you'd walk into the Kodesh Kodashim. So I don't know who this is. He asked the Gevaldik Kasha. He says, we know in Yiddishkeit, we always favor the right side. Right? We always start with the right. Everything's the right. When you go up to the Mizbech, you have to go to the right. Everything's the right. Because it's the right way. That was an obvious pun. Okay, fine. Sorry. Why is it then that between the Shulchan and the Menorah, the Shulchan, which is referring, is bread, it's Gashmis, it's Parnasa, Menorah, Torah Shebal Peh, the light of Torah. We know. Wouldn't it make more sense that the menorah is on the right side and the shulchan's on the left side? Right? The right side is more chashuv. That's the side of Torah, the side of light. The left side is also good, but it's gashmius, it's tzimtzum, it's... Switch it around. Good question?
Depends which way you're coming from.
So if you're standing outside the Kodesh Kodashim looking in, then on the right side is the Lechem Apanim, and on the right side is the Lechem Apanim, and the left side is the menorah. But if you'd be standing inside the Kodesh Kodashim looking out the right way, then the menorah is on your right side, and the shulchan is on your left side. So you could be standing, if you would be me and you, I'd be outside the Kodesh Kodashim, and you guys would be the Kohen Gadol in the Kodesh Kodashim. I would say the shulchan's to the right. And the Kohen Gadol would say, no, the menorah's to the right. I say, what are you, crazy? I know my right hand. The shulchan's to the right. And the Kohen Gadol says, sorry, buddy, not this time. The right side's the menorah. We understand. It's all about the perspective, where you're standing. So the Chacham tells you the right is left and left is right. You have to believe him because the Chachamim are standing in the Kodesh Kodashim looking out. We're still outside the Kodesh Kodashim. Right? So we could be 100% vad that we think we know what we're talking about, but we could be in the wrong direction. Yeah. You have like a, with fighter pilots. You know, they have the what's it called? The altimeter, what's it called? What that has the how high you are? I forgot how it goes. Maybe I saw this once. But they have like an up and I don't know. They have like an indicator that shows which way you're going. I forgot exactly what it is because a person. What's the point? A pilot can get so confused if he's spinning out. He might think up is down and down is up, and he might be barreling down to the ground hundreds of miles an hour, thinking he's going up because he's so confused. So they have something on there, on the physical jet, that tells them which way you're going, and they have to break what they think is the emes to follow. They're taught, they're trained. You have to follow what it says on the screen or whatever it is on the jet, because sometimes you can't trust yourself. You 100% thought that you're going up, and this thing says you're going down. You have to trust that thing, because they could die.
Right.
So when it comes to the Chachamim, they say right is left, left is right. You could die. You have to listen to them. Now, of course, you need to pick a Chacham that you know. You can't just some guy wearing on the street says, "Hi, I'm a Chacham" on his hat. Doesn't mean you listen to him. Obviously, he has to be a bona fide Chacham, right? But Rashi says something amazing. Because Rashi says, not only do you have to listen to the Chacham when he tells you right is left, left is right, right? That's all Rashi should have said. That's the Chiddush. But then Rashi says, the Kol Shekain, Sh'omer L'cha al Yamin Yamin, V'al Smol Smol, when the Chacham tells you right is right and left is left. That's Rashi telling me that. Obviously, if the Chacham tells me right is right, I'll believe him, and left is left, I'll believe him. Why would I think opposite? So you see that by the Chachamim, we have to listen to them. They balance us out. We even have to listen to them when things are normal. We have to be people who are mevatel das the chacham. We have to be ready to if the chacham says this is chicken, it's chicken. The chacham said it's chicken. That doesn't mean not to use your brain at all. It's a fine line between not using your brain and just following a chacham without any thoughts of your own, or versus using your brain but knowing that at a certain point, you need to learn how to be mevatel.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask. If he can't answer, then I'll answer.
In Shabbos 40b2.
Oh boy.
I'm asking a question.
I can't answer that one.
Which right is right and which left is left. So the rabbi have a problem because people weren't paying attention to the rabbi and using the hot water and the cold water on Shabbos. So I'm stuck now because they were not listening to the rabbi. So the rabbi says, okay, now you can't bathe at all. Okay, thank you very much. Because that group of people were taking advantage. In other words, they could have used the cold water that the rabbi originally said, okay, if you do one limb at a time and so forth, I can allow it.
So what's the problem?
What's the problem? Because somebody misbehaved.
So there's a few answers to the question.
So no, I say to the rabbi, why am I bound by what he said as the halacha, saying what's right is right, what's left is left, because of the actions of people at that time?
The answer is because the Kadosh Baruch Hu says. He says you have to follow the Chacham. He says yes.
So I got to suffer for those yeses.
Yep, 100%. But what you have to know more than that, and the Vilna Gaon says this and others, is that whenever Chazal made a gezerah,
right,
they told you one reason, but they had 50 other reasons that they didn't tell you about.
They went in. It goes into the back forth, one limb, two limb.
No, but there's also secrets. There's things that they didn't reveal. So what they told you, listen to, because they have many other reasons for why they said what they said. That's number one. Number two, the Chachamim were so wise, they foresaw that if even if it's just a small group of people doing it now, if we let this go, it's going to end up being more and more and more and more.
Well, that's the story with everything.
So
it says in,
see the way of the world. So
all the Severa says, if you keep doing something, you get to believe it's right.
So the Chachamim saw from this group, they had to answer it to hold on, or else it would have gone out of control.
If that group did it 2,000 years ago,
exactly.
this group's everybody.
Exactly. That's the point. So so we don't have to suffer today. We have to believe that had the Chacham not made the Gezerah, we might have been over that. And therefore, Baruch Hashem, that they saved us. That's the way to see it. Because people who see it in the other way, they're negative against the Chachamim. There are people who were upset. What do you mean? Who said I can't have chicken and cheese together? Who said?
Well, that's a big machlok.
Chicken and cheese. What do you mean? Chicken and cheese is fine. The Chachamim made that up. Why would I make a mistake between chicken and meat? And it's crazy. So they don't want to hold to that. They think the Chachamim are crazy.
Chabad hold that fish is meat.
Svardim also. You can't have fish and cheese, but that's a different halach. Al Kaponim. It's not a pashut thing to mevatel das the Chachamim. Therefore, the Torah has to say, Hashem has to say, you better listen to them. Whether you understand it or you don't understand it. Because they balance us out. They keep us normal, right? Meshuggah means being abnormal. Being outside the Gedarim of normal, right? So they hold us in. Even when it comes to mitzvahs, a person has to be careful not to be abnormal. There are times where a person could be abnormal. I'm not getting into these rules now. But generally, a chacham, if you would ask a person, hey, tzaddik, is it okay if I don't even want to say an example, but can I do this and this and this? It's al derech a mitzvah. No, you shouldn't do it that way. But Rebbe, it's like 10 chumras in one. Isn't that what a Kadosh Baruch Hu wants? The chacham says, yes, but you shouldn't do that. What do you mean? It's a mitzvah. It's the best of the best of the best mitzvah mahajim and mahajim. Yes, but you shouldn't do that. Person has to be mevatel. He says, okay. And if that's what a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you should just know, parenthetically, that if a person has good intentions and he listens to the Chachamim, he still gets the mitzvah mahajim and mahajim and mahajim and mahajim, because instead of using it on the esrog that he was making up some chumras, he used his extra chumras on listening to the Chachamim. You don't lose. You hear? You get all those mahajim points by listening to the Chacham, because you really, 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 really didn't want to listen. Because you really, really, really thought you were doing a mitzvah for Kadosh Baruch Hu that was even better. So now you just rolled that in to listen to the Chacham. This person should never think he's losing out. So the reason for the original craziness being abnormal, says Rabbi Nachman, is because you don't listen to the Chachamim. You have to listen, even if it doesn't make sense to you. Even if it doesn't apply to you. No. You have to live within the confines of the Chachamim of the past generations have said. Every generation has their Chachamim. I'm not stating names now, but a person has to find the Chachamim. We've had people who are called Chachamim, and they come out that they were not really Chachamim. They were really Rishonim, unfortunately. Right? And people followed after Shabtai Tzvi. And it was a big mistake. Okay. So the first Nakuda is listening to the Chachamim will keep us within the range of normal. Now I want to make a quick point here. Now Rabbi Nachman says here, every single time Rabbi Nachman speaks, he says, Misha enu shomeya u'mitzayis. Shomeya u'mitzayis. Mitzayis is shomeya. What are those two words? So shomeya everybody knows. It means to hear. What does mitzayis mean? You see this in the Gemara sometimes.
Fine.
It's mitzia. It's
Close.
It's interesting, yeah. Mitzayis means to follow what they say. Mitzayis is a lashon of psak. You have to follow psak. Mitzayis, you have to follow after what they say. Now, just as an interesting point, it's important also that Shema, to hear, has at least 3 levels. Shema. Because there's, in English we'll say it like this. There's hearing, there's listening, and then there's heeding. You first have to actually hear what's being said. You have to listen to the words of the Chachamim, to learn their words. You have to actually just hear it. Nothing active, just be passive hearer. Listening is already more active. I'm listening to what they're saying. I'm thinking about it. There's a little bit more processing. It's not passive anymore. It's more active, right? You have to pay attention to listen. Hearing all day long. People are hearing noises, hearing music, in one ear, out the other, in one ear. That's called hearing. That's the first level of Shemiya. The second level is when I'm listening to what I'm hearing. I'm listening to what I'm hearing, right? The third level is to heed. That's the third Shemiya. That I'm heeding, meaning I'm really paying attention. Like I'm almost to the level of like doing what they're saying. I'm heeding their advice. It's the lashon. Because I'm heeding to that which I listened to, what I heard.
It's like in between the action
and then the action is mitzayis, is to follow what they say. So when we say Shema Yisrael, parenthetically, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, Shema Yisrael, Hashem, Moshe says to Klal Yisrael, hear what I'm saying, listen to what I'm saying, and heed, be makabel what I'm saying. 3 levels of Shemiya. The Shemiya of the Bina, the Shemiya of the Gvura, and then the Shemiya of the Malchus. 3 different levels. Okay, that's another time. Now Rabbi Nachman then says, Ki ikar shigaon, the main craziness of the crazies is because she'enu mitzayis v'shomei l'divrei bali seichel. The ikar craziness is because people don't listen to the chachamim, or here he says call them the bali seichel. He doesn't say chachamim, he says bali seichel. So it's interesting because at first he said, just to point out, chachamim amitiyim. You have to listen to the chachamim amitiyim. That sounds like the tzaddikim, the chachamim. And then he says bali seichel, which I would even venture to say that the goyim could be a seichel. We know Chazal tell us that chachma b'goyim tamin, Torah b'goyim al tamin. To say that the goyim, the nations of the world, have a chachma of wisdom, I could believe that's possible. Torah they don't have. Kadosh Baruch Hu they don't have. But wisdom, there's a lot of good wisdom. Be careful. If you enter into that place, you might be getting garbage also. So that's why we try to stay away from them. But it could be Rabbi Nachman here, it means that. So then what's going on with this second shlav? That the main shigaon. Before, if you don't listen to the chachamim, likely you're going to become a meshuggah. Then he says, the main shigaon. So what is that? So Rabbi Nachman says after that, if you remember, he says that if a person would listen to the chacham, even though he has a ruach shtos inside of him, and he has a craziness, but if he would listen to the chacham, then he would be better. Right? That's what he said. So person has a headache. Okay? Person has a headache. So I'm asking you a question. This person has a headache. Why does he have a headache? What's the reason he has a headache? So you'll say, I don't know, lack of sleep. He's been in a loud room. Maybe he's dehydrated. Maybe he has a virus. All reasons why he now has a headache, right? So that's true for the first one, Rabbi Nachman. But then Rabbi Nachman says, what's the Iger Shigon? What's the main reason for the craziness? What's the main reasons for this person's headache right now? It's a chap. It's a very deep chap. The main reason, I'm going to play it back. The reason why this person became a Meshugana is because he didn't listen to the Chacham. But what's the main reason he's a Meshugana? What's the next line of Rabbi Nachman? Because he's not listening to the Chacham right now. I mean, he's a crazy person right now. We're talking about a crazy person right now. Why is he still a crazy person? Because he's not being mevatel his das to the Chacham. Why did this person get a headache? Didn't drink enough water today. Too hot outside. Why does he still have a headache? What's the major reason for his headache, for his craziness? He didn't take Tylenol. Okay, I'm not talking about Rabbi Nachman, the doctors. I'm not getting involved with that. Take some Tylenol. Take some Advil. Kodesh Baruch put that into the world, so you can do it, right? Before you say that, you take the pill. Shulchan Aruch says, just parenthetically, Yirotzon, Dofanecha Shehei Eisek Zeh Li Refuah, Kirov Echinamata. Right before you take a pill, you're supposed to say a bracha. Yirotzon. Hashem, you are the Rofei. That this pill is the messenger of you. Let it make me better, right? And then it's not the pill that's making you better; it's a Kodesh Baruch Hu, end parenthesis. So the reason you got the headache in the first place is because of some reason. But the reason why you still have a headache, why you're crazy, the main reason is because you didn't take the medicine you could take. He says that's the main reason. You would have thought the main reason why you have a headache is because you didn't have the water. Why do you still have the headache? Because you didn't take the Tylenol. But the main reason should be that the fact that you didn't drink enough water. That's what Rabbi Nachman says. When a person is a little bit off, a little bit crazy, so you have people who their entire life they just go back to the past. Why did I become crazy? It was that person's fault. It was this person's fault. My teacher, if only I had, won the basketball championships, if only I was picked first. And they live their whole life now. They have a problem now. They have issues now, whatever the issues are. For their whole life, they're going back to the original cause of why they're crazy now. And they just live life like that again and again and again. Talking about it, thinking about it, crying about it, but never really moving forward. Menachem is saying, your person has a craziness. Whatever the craziness is. Again, anything abnormal, anything out of what's normal. That's the Meshuggah. The main reason why you're Meshuggah is because you're not moving forward. Move forward. Okay, with the past is the past. You're right. That's the reason why you're crazy now. Fine. But that's done. You can't change the past. The past is done. What can I do now to move weiter? That's the main move. And if you don't do that, you're the main crazy person. A crazy person is someone, what's the line? Who does the same thing again and again, thinking he's going to get different results. That's a crazy person. You're doing the same thing. You dive in the same way 100 years, you think that's going to get better. The same thing again and again and again and again.
Insane.
He's insane.
Yeah.
That's what they say?
That's the word.
You have to move on. Right? So you have to come to the Chacham to help you. I wrote like this. The truth is, you, in the present moment, have an issue. I wrote like this. Many people spend their entire life thinking about and analyzing their past to figure out how they got to the point they're in, who they can blame, what could have been done differently. The truth is, you, whoever we're talking about, in the present moment, have an issue, and you, in the present moment, have to look to fix it. And you, in the present moment, have the choice and the power to fix it. It's all accomplished by forward thinking rather than backwards thinking. Because many people will stay in that cycle of the past for their entire life. Remember, Nachman says, don't do that. That's not the Nakuda we need to work on now. So if a person can nullify his das to the Chachamim or the Baalei Seichel, depending on the situation, and he's ready, I'm ready that whatever this Chacham says, if he tells me left is right, right is left, now his person has a chance. If he's ready to mevatel his das, because all the craziness is stemming from, I think that this is normal. Or I don't think that this is crazy. But if I'm ready to say that if this Chacham tells me it's crazy, I'll listen to him. And you have to have a Chacham in your life to be able to tell you that. A Meshuggah is someone he's not going to listen to the Chacham. But a Meshuggah could get out of it in 2 seconds. Yeah? So that's a little bit of a deeper understanding of what Rabbi Nachman's saying. This course is always more. But maybe that's why Rabbi Nachman uses the two words, Shomei u'Metzayis. Because if you would have listened Shomeya to the Chachamim in the first place, you would have stayed in the realm of normal. But once you're already crazy, now you need to be Metzayis. Now listening is not enough. You need to follow Lamaisa, what the Chachamim tell you to do, even if they tell you right is left, left is right. Shomeya u'Metzayis. Shomeya Metzayis. Right? I mean, we should always be Shomeya Metzayis L'Chachamim. But you can break it up in two ways. So because it's Elul, and because it's Gematria 67, and it's Sichos 67, which is Gematria Bina, to understand. So let's mention Tshuva for 1 minute. So Rabbi Nachman quoted a Gemara here very quickly. He said if a person has a Ruach Shtos, the Chazal tell us that a person only sins because a Ruach Shtos entered inside of him, right? If a person was in his normal state of mind, he would never sin. It must be, if he sinned, it must be that a Ruach Shtos came into him. You're still, we're not going to get to the sugi now, you still are mechuyev. A person can say, what if it's a Ruach Shtos, I'm an insane person, I'm potter. I'm a crazy person. There's answers to that, not for now. But think about it. If you have a Ruach Shtos inside of you, then what are you?
Crazy.
You're a Meshugana. So if a person has sinned, he's a Meshugana. Oh, so that's our sugya. Right? Sichos 67 is a Meshugayim. So what does tshuva mean? If you've sinned from a Ruach Shtos, a Meshugas, so what's the opposite of sinning? Tshuva. The opposite, whatever. So what does tshuva mean? Coming back from the Meshugas. That's what tshuva means. You went to a place that's abnormal. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, live in this circle of normalcy. You went above and beyond that with Losases, you went against the Rabbanim, whatever it was. Tshuva is returned back to being normal. Right? So now we have to come to tshuva. This really takes more time, but we'll just say it now. Now in tshuva, there's a 4-part process. Right? There's, what is it? There's stop sinning. That's the obvious. You have to stop sinning. Vidui.
Regret.
Vidui is confession. Regret. Scharata. And then Kabbalah la'asid. How you're going to move forward. What's the word I have over here? The resolution for the future. The Kabbalah. What do you think, according to our Torah here, it's pretty obvious, is the main part? You need all 4 parts. What's the main part a person should focus on in tshuva? Go weiter. Many people, and there are big people, I'm not saying it's wrong, but there are those who think that charata, the regret, is the major part of tshuva. To regret, to feel bad, to think about it, to say it. And for that sect of Judaism, and there's even Hasidim, and that's true. But Rabbi Nachman Breslau, I don't think that's true at all. I think there's a few rayas to this. He does not hold. He says, of course you have to have charata, but the major nakuda of real tshuva, the tshuva of bina, move forward. Confess, regret, stop sinning, but work on that future. Shivi Boltzah become. Everything about Rabbi Nachman is get back up. Okay, you sinned, it's true. Have charata, it's true. But strong, move forward. But the only way you could do that is if you're shomeya u'metzayis. Now, what's the problem? What is shomeya? You have to listen to shiurim. You have to listen to the chachamim. You have to learn svarim. Everybody does that. The problem is metzayis. How many people have learned Mesilas Yesharim? Millions. Who's metzayis Mesilas Yesharim? You hear shmuzin. I always used to make a joke. There's a certain yeshiva I was in. Could be many yeshivas, really. Once a week, they have the big Musar Shmuz from the Mashgiach. Okay? Big Musar Shmuz. Yeres Hashem, and Taivas, and Achil, whatever it was about. Every week was a fire Shmuz. The second the Shmuz was over, it was lunchtime. So the second it was over, everybody runs downstairs, starts stabbing each other with forks. Get out of my way. Meet us out the window. No time to process anything. All out the window. We have to eat. We have to eat now. Because they were never Matzayas. They heard it, but they didn't get to the 3rd level of Shmiya. You know what I'm saying? They heard the words, they listened, they didn't get the heeding. If you don't get the heed, the 3rd level of Shmiya, you're not going to get to Matzayas. You're not going to be able to follow. We can learn all this for but if you're not going to actually try a little bit to go through the process of Shmiya, hear what's being said. You read it one time, you hear what is being said. What's the tzaddik really telling me? How do I apply that? And now let me apply that. It could be one thing a year. It doesn't matter. To learn a million things and to not to listen at all, it's better to learn one thing and listen at one time. And Rabbi Nachman says the ikr is the eitzes. The ikr is to do what he says to do. All the fancy Torahs in the world, Rabbi Nachman tells us, but the main thing he says is to do what you're being told to do. That's how you make a real change. That's real tshuva. Come back to becoming normal. Shomei u'metzayis.